Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It is time for our 3-time-a-week demonstration here at the Edgerton for Let's Explore It. Today we're going to have an interesting combination of fire and ice. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a fire tornado or whirlwind, whichever you want to call it. And just in case you're wondering, in nature, fire tornadoes do exist. Dealing with updrafts and different vortexes that form out in natural wildfires, tornadoes can, in fact, carry fire, as well as the normal tornadoes we're used to here in Nebraska, where we are located. Unfortunately, we are in tornado season, knock on wood. We haven't had any closed tornadoes, so let's hopefully keep it that way here. But we're going to talk about a fire tornado. So what we have in front of us is a little turntable, a heat-resistant little metal pie plate, and in the center is what's going to be our vessel that will be holding our cotton balls. It helps keep our fuel from sloshing around. And then we have our ultra-high-powered isopropyl alcohol. And I just forgot we don't have a lid for this, so we can switch from one demo to the next. So we're going.
Speaking of which, where is the dry ice? Which freezer?
In the bird freezer.
Bird food.
Okay.
Next to the water ice. We're trying to get all our supplies together. We have to keep the liquid or the dry ice that we're going to use for our next experiment in the freezer to keep it as cold as possible here, because it is needing that colder temperature. So what we're going to do is we're going to light our rubbing alcohol on. So we see a normal flame. It's just burning. It's burning with the cotton balls as a stabilizer, adding a little more carbon. But now we're going to add our little screen around the outside. You can see there's a little chimney effect. Flames are going a little higher. But if we give it a little spin, we're going to see that the fire creates a whirlwind and goes up almost to the top of our wire container around our fire that's going there. So we're creating a vortex. It's causing the fire to burn even hotter and even better than it would if we had our normal. So the oxygen, the air is coming in the tiny holes of our little screen surround here, and it's creating this vortex. Now, today, goes without saying, please do not try these at home. A lot of these things could be duplicated, so if your parents deem it okay, you could, but always have to express extreme caution with fire, with some of the other chemicals we're going to work with today as well. You can't see them on screen, but we do have our fire extinguishers on hand just in case anything should happen. We are expressing extreme caution because fire is hot and it can spread, but we like to show this off that this is one of those vortexes that happen inside when air currents change directions. Now, if you look at our screen, we did try this with a bigger mesh, and we found out that it didn't create enough airflow. So we added a second layer that is basically window screen onto our vortex to create the proper chamber to be able to get our fire to burn a little better, a little taller as we go. And like I said, it goes up higher the more it burns. We're losing a little bit of steam here because our fuel source is burning out, which is much needed at this. So
thanks for joining us today, people. We really appreciate your viewing, and hopefully you enjoy our demonstration today.
So we're going to switch from our fire vortex, and we're going to take this guy off here so I can go extinguish him. And Nicole's going to step on, and we're going to work with something very cold. So, Nicole,
make sure that we're safe. We have our goggles on. John talked about having the fire extinguisher available, so we are making sure that we are protected. Now here we're adding warm water, right? Hot
Yes.
or warm water?
This is hot.
Hot water.
And this is just going to help essentially increase how fast this stuff boils.
So we talk about dry ice and the temperature, right, that it boils at, or dry ice goes from a solid to a gas.
Negative 70 degrees Celsius.
Yes, which is negative 110.
10 Fahrenheit.
All right, so of course we have our block of dry ice. Again, it is turning from a solid. I don't know. I'm not left-handed, so here we go. It's so warm in here. It's essentially screaming. There we go. All right, and so we're just gonna drop essentially that entire block in there. We now have a fun, obviously what looks like essentially a science experiment, and then we're gonna see if we can create enough essentially upward movement. One of the things that's kind of hard when we're using dry ice is the fact that it's heavier than air. So actually probably without some fan to pull this up, it may not work quite as well. This experiment is done by a number of people, and usually what they do is they have fans set up around it, essentially creating the circle, which this is doing, but they also have, because again, CO2 is heavier than our air, have to have another fan sitting above it to pull it up. And so that might be something I should have thought of.
Hi, Jordan. Thanks for joining us today.
Do we have any fans?
No, we don't have. They're all
inside?
downstairs.
Huh. Again, I need a
It needs
fan.
more. It needs more lift.
It needs more lift.
draft.
There's just not enough to, like I said, essentially lift it. It's quite heavy. And so if we go like this. So unfortunately this one didn't work as well as I was hoping. Like I said, I kind of forgot about the fact you need something to lift it up. But of course, that doesn't mean you can't have some fun with it at some point. So, sad, we get tornado today with it. But we have one more thing for today. So despite the fact that this one didn't quite go as planned, we've got more. So give us just a minute because we are actually going to kind of shift outside here today. So hold on, bear with us for a few minutes as we kind of reset here. Yeah, got it. Woo! Ooh. Get the tripod out the door. All right, we're gonna go outside, so cameras are gonna readjust here for the outside sunlight. Hold on.
Here.
Let's see.
When you come over here, Nicole.
Come over that way. Okay.
It won't be in the sun.
In the dark door, it'll show on.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So our last part of our experiment today, it is a nice, sunny, warm day outside. We are going to, maybe we may need to back up a little further, guys, to get the full...
Yeah, we're
Jordan wants to know why you have 2 pair of goggles on your head.
Because I like to have fun and be silly.
Because he couldn't decide on which color
Yeah.
to wear today with
we
his
see a lot
outfit.
of the doors and the cameras. People.
I'm almost.
And plus, we want to make sure John is safe. All right, so when he's doing this. Now,
I can't see the top of the door, but I can see.
Awesome. So for our last experiment today, we're dealing with an extreme temperature differential. In this pitcher, we have some nice boiling hot water, and in our bucket, we have the super cold liquid nitrogen, which boils at negative 320 degrees. Now this is going to happen fast. This is going to be a one-time deal because we are using a bunch of our liquid nitrogen up during this experiment. And so it's going to create a spectacular event here as we do. So Deb, do you want to do a countdown?
I sure will. Okay, let's go down from 3.
Nicole, you ready?
I am.
All right, we'll start here. 3, 2, 1, go. Are we a little happy about this?
That is awesome.
So, not sure if it picks up on camera, but we made some little ice chunks that are on our sidewalk here. Basically, we're making instant snow. It doesn't last, especially today is really nice and warm out. But we are able to see that what looks like an explosion, but it causes that liquid dry ice to boil. I'm sorry, liquid nitrogen to boil so quickly. Because of it. So we have ice chunks in here. We also have a few bubbles because we use this bucket to make our gigantic bubbles as well. But that's what's mostly froze on the sidewalk is frozen bubbles actually. And so we have a lot of fun with this. The only downside to this experiment is it uses a lot of liquid nitrogen. And we have a wonderful partner that supplies us with liquid nitrogen. So we're thankful for that they are able to keep us supplied with liquid nitrogen all the time. So, Deb, Nicole, do we have anything else to share today?
Just remember, be safe.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home. On Wednesday, we're going to be back. We're going to be outside a little bit since it's such nice weather. And we'll post a supply list tomorrow if you want to join us in making some grass heads.
All right.
Also known as chia pets.
All right.
Okay. Thanks anyway for joining us.